The Real and Apparent Man, Part 8. Though evil and good are both conditioned manifestations of the soul, yet evil is the most external coating and good is the nearer coating of the real man, the self. And unless a man cuts through the layer of evil, he cannot reach the layer of good. And unless he has passed through both the layers of good and evil, he cannot reach the self. He who reaches the self, what remains attached to him? A little karma, a little bit of momentum of past life, but it is all good momentum. Until the good momentum is entirely worked out and past impurities are entirely burnt, it is impossible for any man to see and realize truth. So, what is left attached to the man who has reached the self and seen the truth is a remnant of the good impressions of past life, the good momentum. Even if he lives in the body and works incessantly, he works only to do good. His lips speak only benediction to all. His hands do only good works. His mind can only think good thoughts. His presence is a blessing wherever he goes. He is himself a living blessing. Such a man will, by his very presence, change even the most wicked persons into saints. Even if he does not speak, his very presence will be a blessing to mankind. Can such men do any evil? Can they do wicked deeds? There is, you must remember, all the difference of pole to pole between realization and mere talking. Any fool can talk, even parrots talk. Talking is one thing and realizing is another. Philosophies and doctrines and arguments and books and theories and churches and sections and all these things are good in their own way. But when that realization comes, these things drop away. For instance, maps are good, but when you see the country itself and look again at the maps, what a great difference you find. So those that have realized truth do not require the rationalizations of logic and all other gymnastics of the intellect to make them understand the truth. It is to them the life of their lives, concretized, made more than tangible. It is, as the sages of the Vedanta say, even as a fruit in your hand, you can stand up and say it is here. So those that have realized the truth will stand up and say, here is the self. You may argue with them by the ear, but they will smile at you. They will regard it as child's prattle. They will let the child prattle on. They have realized the truth and are full. Suppose you have seen a country and another man comes to you and tries to argue with you that that country never existed. He may go on arguing indefinitely, but your only attitude of mind towards him must be to hold that the man is fit for a lunatic asylum. So a man of realization says, all this talk in the world about this little religions is but a prattle. Realization is the soul, the very essence of religion. Religion can be realized. Are you ready? Do you want it? You will get the realization if you do, and then you will be truly religious. Until you have attained realization, there is no difference between you and atheists. The atheists are sincere, but the man who says that he believes in religion and never attempts to realize it is not sincere. The next question is to know what comes after realization. Suppose we have realized this oneness of the universe, that we are that one infinite being, and suppose we have realized that this self is the only existence and that it is the same self which is manifesting in all these various phenomenal forms. What becomes of us after that? Shall we become inactive, get into a corner and sit down there and die away? What good will it do to the world? That old question. In the first place, why should it do good to the world? Is there any reason why it should? What right has anyone to ask the question, what good will it do to the world? What is meant by that? A baby likes candy. Suppose you are conducting investigation in connection with some subject of electricity and the baby asks you, does it buy candies? No, you answer. Then what good will it do, says the baby. So men stand up and say, what good will this do in this world? Will it give us money? No. Then what good is there in it? That is what men mean by doing good to the world. Yet religious realization does all the good to the world. People are afraid that when they attain to it, They will realize that there is but one. The fountains of love will be dried up, and that everything in life will go away, and that all they love will vanish for them, as it were in this life and in the life to come. People never stop to think that those who bestowed the least thought on their own individualities have been the greatest workers in the world. Then alone a man loves when he finds that the object of his love is not any low little mortal thing. Then alone a man loves when he finds that the object of his love is not a clod of earth, but it is the veritable God himself. The wife will love the husband the more when she thinks that the husband is God himself. The husband will love the wife more when he knows that the wife is God herself. That mother will love the children more who thinks that the children are God himself. That man will love his greatest enemy who knows that that very enemy is God himself. That man will love a holy man who knows that the holy man is God himself. And that very man will also love the unholiest of men because he knows the background of that unholiest of men is even he, the Lord. Such a man becomes a world mover for whom his little self is dead and God stands in his place.